What?
Dude, right there.
What do you mean?
Right there. Something's in the
Dude,
race.
no, what?
Something's in the race snap.
What? What is that? What is that?
Whoa, what the
From the exploration of rake-infested woods to the eerie sight of an elf child in a field, and even possible proof of Sasquatch's existence, these are just a few of the things we will look at. Stick to the end. These two cave explorers squeezed through a narrow crack, only to find something so terrifying they wished it was just a nightmare. This footage comes from a cave in Ireland, ominously known as Ireland's Gate to Hell, where two explorers stumbled upon something straight out of a horror movie, a human hand. As they navigate the tight passage, the camera captures what looks like an actual human hand reaching out from the cave wall. But here's the eerie part. There's no body, just the hand. It appears as if someone is trapped within the rock, desperately stretching out for help. Now, if this is real, that makes it absolutely terrifying. But let's break it down. While the hand does look eerily lifelike, its thick fingers and unusual texture suggest it might just be a silicone prop. Of course, that's just speculation. So, what do you think? Real or fake? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This eerie footage from Connecticut proves that awareness can mean the difference between life and death. Captured by a home CCTV camera, this video shows a family relaxing in their driveway, enjoying the sunshine, until something suddenly terrifies the child. A massive bear is lurking just feet away. Within moments, the women also spot the huge beast and, realizing the danger, rush inside just in time. Luckily, the bear doesn't seem too aggressive and doesn't give chase, but make no mistake, this could have ended very differently. If they hadn't noticed it in time, the bear could have easily attacked from behind while they remained completely unaware. This is exactly why I always say, teach your kids to stay aware of their surroundings, and don't forget to do the same yourself. It's not just the crushing darkness or the claustrophobic passages that cave explorers fear. Sometimes it's the beasts lurking within. This chilling video was uploaded on TikTok by a user who, while exploring a cave with his friend, stumbled upon something he absolutely shouldn't have. As they navigate the cavern, the camera suddenly captures a terrifying sight: a massive bear deep in hibernation. Thankfully, the explorer's voice didn't wake the beast. If it had, this video might have ended up on a very different part of the internet. Home security cameras are meant to give us a sense of safety, but when they capture something like this, they do the exact opposite. This eerie footage, originally uploaded to Reddit, comes from a house's CCTV camera, showing a nighttime view of the front yard. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary, until a bizarre, dog-like creature lurks across the yard. At first glance, it might seem like just a regular dog, but take a closer look. It's definitely something else. This thing has unnaturally long front legs, short, almost deformed hind legs, and a disturbingly small torso, like a creature ripped straight out of a nightmare. Some people believe it could be a chupacabra, but honestly, whatever that thing is, I pray I never see it sprinting across my front yard, that's for sure. Imagine stepping outside only to see the sky darken, not with storm clouds, but with thousands of spiders. That's exactly what happened in Brazil. This chilling footage was uploaded by Guardian News on YouTube, capturing what appears to be a nightmarish sight. Thousands of spiders seemingly raining down from the sky. This eerie phenomenon was recorded in a rural area of southern Brazil, where locals witnessed the unsettling scene firsthand.
Caramba.
But before you start panicking, don't worry. The spiders aren't actually falling from the sky. What's really happening is that they've woven an enormous web, nearly invisible to the naked eye, to trap their prey. Scientists explain that this species of spider is known for creating massive communal webs that stretch across vast areas. Still, just because there's a logical explanation doesn't make it any less terrifying. Hidden cameras capture some pretty bizarre things, but this one might be one of the strangest yet. These two eerie photos have been making headlines, showing what looks like a real-life Tarzan, or as some are calling him, the naked tiger man, running through the woods. The unsettling part is that this man is completely naked and moving on all fours, caught by a trail camera deep in the forest. It wasn't until local foresters checked the trail camera footage that they realized something was seriously off. They immediately alerted the police, who later tracked down and apprehended the man, identified as Merrick H. According to authorities, the 21-year-old had taken hallucinatory substances and, in his altered state, believed he was a Siberian tiger. He stripped naked, dashed into the forest, and began acting like one. This right here is exactly why they say don't do drugs, because you never know when you'll end up thinking you're a hyena and start hunting in the wild. These guys investigated the black-faced ox legend and got proof in the most terrifying way.
Tá ligado? Não tinha nada molhado aqui. Agora a impressão disso tá parecendo... Não.
Vem, se esconde. Tem alguma coisa vindo aí, ó. Vai.
Mano, ele ali, cara. Olha ali. Mano do céu, bicho grande, cara.
This video comes from a YouTuber named Fatos, who, along with his friend, decided to explore a local legend that parents used to tell their kids to scare them into sleeping, warning that the black-faced ox would come and devour them if they stayed up too late. Armed with crossbows and machetes, they ventured into the dense sugarcane fields, determined to uncover the truth. But as they wandered deeper, they started noticing strange openings in the crops, as if something massive had passed through.
Por que tá aberto aí?
Then, things got even weirder. They began hearing strange noises echoing from the field ahead, low, guttural bellows that sounded just like an ox. Their suspicions were growing stronger by the second. As they continued cautiously, they suddenly heard something approaching. Panicked, they dove into the tall sugarcane, hoping to avoid whatever was out there. But when they finally emerged, thinking they were in the clear, they were met with a sight that sent pure terror down their spines. The black-faced ox was right there, watching them from the field.
Oxi, que droga é essa? Oxi. Tá vindo de lá, ó.
Outro mais noiando, mas tem. Tá ligado? Não tinha nada molhado aqui. Agora a impressão disso tá parecendo... Não.
Vem, se esconde. Tem alguma coisa vindo aí, ó.
Mano, ele ali, cara. Olha ali. Mano do céu, bicho grande, cara. Mano, vem. Vai.
Then, the unthinkable happened. It charged at them. The duo ran for their lives, barely managing to escape its pursuit. This footage is chilling, and it raises a serious question. Could the legend of the black-faced ox actually be real? If so, that just adds another terrifying cryptid to our already long and nightmarish list. This next video, captured over the waters of New Jersey, might be the smoking gun that proves Project Blue Light is real. This video was originally uploaded on TikTok by a user who was completely shocked by what they witnessed while standing on a dock with their mom. The footage shows a massive, powerful blue beam of light striking down from the sky, illuminating everything around it in an almost otherworldly glow. The sheer intensity of the light makes it look unnatural, almost like something straight out of a science fiction movie. People are now linking this eerie phenomenon to Project Blue Light, with some even suggesting a connection to alien activity. And honestly, with how surreal this looks, I can't even argue with them. A man and his family set out to explore the desert, but their adventure took a terrifying turn when they stumbled upon a cave and what was lurking inside it. This video was uploaded to YouTube by the channel Matt Squatch Presents, which tells the chilling story of a family who discovered something truly bizarre inside a cave. According to the video, the family was exploring the desert when they came across a dark, ominous cave. Curiosity got the best of them, and as they ventured inside, their flashlights revealed something unbelievable. A tall, skinny creature with two glowing eyes, staring right at them from the darkness. The moment their light hit the creature, it bolted deeper into the cave, vanishing into the shadows. The family described it as looking more like a Sasquatch than a human, standing at an intimidating height with thick black fur covering its body. Not far from the cave, they also discovered massive footprints, further suggesting that something big was lurking in the area. This is beyond unsettling. Stumbling upon an unknown creature in a pitch-black cave is nightmare fuel. However, considering that this region is already rumored to have Bigfoot sightings, this discovery suddenly seems a lot more believable. This next video will show you exactly why you shouldn't drive down a desolate forest road late at night. This eerie footage comes from India, where a CCTV camera captured what looks like a real-life paranormal encounter. In the video, we see a man riding his bike when he suddenly stops in the middle of the road, seemingly startled by a mysterious figure that vanished instantly. But before he can process what just happened, a white, shadowy figure rushes straight toward him, sending him into full panic mode. It genuinely looks like this ghostly entity attacked the poor guy and chased after him. This is exactly why the unknown always seems to lurk in desolate areas. This man went camping and stumbled upon an abandoned trailer nearby, but what he found inside shook the entire internet. This eerie video comes from Instagram, showing footage recorded by a camper who heard strange noises coming from a nearby abandoned trailer. Curious, but clearly unnerved, he decides to investigate, cautiously walking around the trailer while paranoia starts creeping in as the noises persist. But then, when he moves to the back of the trailer, his heart nearly stops. Inside, through the rear window, he spots a disturbing humanoid figure shifting in the darkness. This creature is hunched over with an unsettlingly unnatural posture, looking like some kind of alien humanoid hybrid. I really hope this is just some elaborate prank or a staged video, because if this thing is real, camping is officially off the table for me. This chilling CCTV footage from Mexico captured an eerie, shadowy figure that defies explanation. In the footage, we see a quiet backyard until suddenly a dark, shadowy figure materializes beside the fence, hovering ominously along its edge. Then, without warning, it turns and begins moving toward the house, its shape shifting into a more distinctly humanoid form as it approaches. Watching this entity morph from an unrecognizable shape into a human-like figure in mere seconds is unsettling enough, but the fact that it moves directly toward the house makes this clip downright terrifying, especially for the homeowner. This tractor driver from Colombia claims to have captured an elf child on video, and after watching it, I might just believe him. This eerie footage comes from Candelaria, Valle del Cauca, where a tractor driver, while working in his fields, spotted a strange child standing in the distance. At first glance, the figure looks like an ordinary kid, but as the camera zooms in, its head shape appears oddly elongated, almost elf-like. Even stranger, the child doesn't move at all, just standing there as if waiting for the tractor driver to approach. Now, some people might say the driver should have gone to check on the child instead of filming, but let me ask you this: would you be brave enough to walk up to something that looks like that? We've all seen police chases before, but this one is on a whole different level of bizarre.
Sheriff's office! If anybody's in the vehicle, show yourself now!
If we can secure, I don't like this, dude. I can get cop up with research.
This shocking footage comes from a deputy's body cam during a pursuit of 24-year-old Justin Ryan Trompeter, who was wanted for domestic violence, child neglect offenses. The chase led deputies deep into the woods, where they eventually found the suspect's abandoned car parked in the middle of nowhere.
Sheriff's office! If anybody's in the vehicle, show yourself now!
Deputies repeatedly ordered the suspect to come out, but when they got no response, they approached the vehicle, and what they found left them stunned. Inside the car were two small children, completely alone. Even worse, the suspect had left them there with suspected fentanyl and meth inside the vehicle.
If we can secure, I don't like this, dude. I can get cop up with research.
I'm sorry. Do you want out?
Here, I'll get it for you.
Thankfully, the children were rescued and taken to the hospital for treatment before being placed in DHS care. Meanwhile, the search for Trompeter continues. Abandoning kids like this, especially in the middle of nowhere, is beyond reckless. It's pure evil.
If you're not a fan of jump scares or being startled, I should give you a heads up that there's a bit of a jump scare in this dashcam video. In the video, we're looking at the view from a car's dashcam as it's speeding down the road. The car is going really fast and picking up even more speed. Despite this high speed, the driver seems to have good control over the car. But out of the blue, a figure suddenly appears right in front of the car, and there's no time for the driver to brake, so the car goes right through this figure. The strange thing is that this ghostly-looking figure seems to come out of nowhere, and when the car goes through it, there's no sound or impact. After that, the camera goes kind of dark. This ghostly figure had a human-like shape, was wearing a black shirt, had no face, and its whole body looked like a witch. Whether it was a ghost or a person, it's always a good idea to drive slowly and safely. If you've never been a believer in the existence of aliens and UFOs, watching this video might change your mind. This video shows 3 peculiar lights up in the sky. What's really odd about these lights is that they form a perfect triangle and move swiftly around. Additionally, the lights seem to flicker, going from dim to shining brightly, giving the impression of some kind of aircraft. The person who posted this video, along with many others, believes that this is a sighting of a UFO. However, there's another logical explanation. It's possible that these are 3 drones, controlled by a computer, and their formation is programmed to be that way. Regardless of what it might be, it's certainly got the attention of the locals. This video might seem a bit puzzling, and it could be a camera glitch or the result of 2 videos overlapping. In the video, we see a bedroom door that is open. After a while, a figure resembling a child enters through the door. This figure moves around a bit and then exits the room. After some time, the same childlike figure enters the room again and seems to play around. From a paranormal perspective, it could look like a child ghost. But if we take a logical view, it might be due to the overlap of 2 videos, one showing an empty room and the other with the child playing. What do you think it could be? If you're a hiker on your own, it's a good idea to heed this advice. Avoid venturing deep into the woods like the person in this video. In the video, we see the hiker walking and enjoying the peaceful surroundings near a waterfall. While recording the beautiful scenery, the hiker pans the camera in a different direction and notices a person standing there, just staring at the hiker. The hiker spots this human-like figure and talks about it in their own language.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, sino ka po?
This figure continues to stare at the hiker for a few moments, before eventually deciding to walk away. The figure's calm and stalking behavior was quite unsettling and gives off an eerie vibe. If I were in the hiker's place, I would have quickly made my exit the moment I saw this creepy figure following me. This video was recorded by some tourists who went to the woods to get a nice experience of nature and wildlife. However, this man with his camera saw something intriguing there and decided to record it on his camera. At first, nothing weird happened, but after a second, a creature got up from the ground and walked forward. The creature had been sitting on the ground all that time. Therefore, it couldn't be seen on the camera. It then squatted on the ground again. It looked like it was looking for something. The brief moment the creature was a little clearer on the screen, we could see it looked like a huge gorilla, but the way it walked was closer to how a human walks. The video was later given to the authorities, and they checked the whole area for the being, but found nothing. There is always a chance that it was just a gorilla with an extraordinary walk, but it could be Bigfoot too. You never know. This video was recorded in California a couple of years back when a man was driving home and witnessed something out of the ordinary. While the weather looked quite foggy and the view from the car was blurry, one thing that caught the man's attention was a slightly dark figure that appeared in front of the car and then disappeared to one side of the road in a second. Even though it started and ended in mere seconds, the sight was enough to scare the man to his core. He uploaded the video on the internet, where many people were quick to claim that it was a skinwalker right there. However, Some people thought it was just his mind playing tricks, or maybe the thick fog that made him think it was a figure, while in reality there was nothing there. Recorded in a junkyard, this clip captured something that shocked the entire internet when it was uploaded. The man was recording his junkyard, showing different cars in the video, and everything seemed quite normal at first. However, as he moved forward towards another car, a nearby black car started moving on its own. It freaked the man out a bit too, and he moved towards it to see if anyone was inside the car. But as he got closer, he saw that there was nothing inside except spare parts and tires. So how was it moving then? The mystery didn't end here. After a few minutes, the car started moving on its own, freaking the man out a little more. However, he still went to check if anyone was inside this time and found nothing. Not just this, the red cross drawn on the car makes the whole thing even more mysterious. Some people on the internet were sure that it was his son or a little kid pushing the car from behind. However, the man kept claiming that the car moved on its own. This video was recorded by a biker who was riding along on his bike. According to him, he rode through the woods often and had never seen anything weird before. But then one day, he was just going his way when he spotted something strange on the path. He stopped the bike, and that's when we saw a huge creature getting up off the ground and running to hide behind the tall trees and bushes. The few seconds the creature appeared on camera showed us that it had black-colored fur covering its whole body, like what a gorilla or maybe a Bigfoot would have. Because the way it was running away was not how a gorilla would run. Its walk and posture were more like a human. However, it can always be a human because we could only see the creature for a brief moment. Dolls have always been associated with mystery and horror, but not many have believed in these kinds of superstitions. However, there are times when dolls are captured on camera being spooky. Take this clip for instance. It shows a man with a creepy clown doll. He has already set up a camera and places the doll right in front of it on the sofa. The man then proceeds to arrange the doll's posture and everything. He puts the doll's hat on it and then leaves the room. A minute passes without anything happening. But then we see the doll, which was facing downwards, now moving and lifting its head up, staring into the camera for a while, before going back to its initial position. Even though this was all the doll did, it was spooky enough for the man when he saw the recording later. Recorded in 2008, this clip had everyone in shock back then, wondering if it was real or not. The clip shows a weird-shaped object flying in the sky. It had lights around it, and it was flying so close to the ground that even the residents of the area could see it easily. The object flew over the area for a few minutes before disappearing in the sky somewhere. The clip was all over the news with questions asked from the authorities about it. Was it some secret military jet? There were hundreds of questions on every mouth. However, the authorities failed to answer any, and just claimed that they have nothing but the video only to say anything more about the strange object. Humans aren't always on the bad side. There are times when we see humanity come to life as well. For instance, in this clip, we see a bunch of humans who spotted a moose stuck under a pile of wood logs they had left after work. So, they decided to help out the moose and let it go free. They brought a crane in and tried lifting a wood log, but then they noticed that removing only one log wasn't enough for the moose. They had to get all the logs out of the way as the moose's leg was stuck quite deep under there. Even after removing all the logs, they had to help the moose get out of the spot too, so it could run off to the woods all free and happy. where trail cameras are set to capture the wildlife in its natural habitat and get a close view of nature. There are times trail cameras capture things that have the ability to shock anyone who sees it. This trail camera captured one such thing in this clip, late at night, where there was no animal in sight. A weird figure appeared from the left side and moved towards the right before disappearing out of sight. The figure looked more like a whitish shadow just floating around. The video was uploaded on the internet and gained mixed reactions from the viewers. To some, it was just something in the dust or maybe an insect. However, to others, it was a ghost wandering in the forest at night. The mystery, however, still remains with no logical explanation ever given. A YouTuber named Tim was out with his friends on a hunting trip when they stumbled upon something unusual. At first, the video appears quite normal, with deer grazing around and everything. However, as the man focuses on the sky trying to record the whole scene, he sees a weird object flying there. At first, he thought it was a balloon, but the speed with which the object was moving and in one specific direction, it was almost impossible for a balloon to do that. But then what was it? Was it a mysterious military drone, or was it some otherworldly thing? With just a video as evidence, nothing could be said. However, the video caused a lot of controversy on the internet for sure. A short video with just one thing in focus, a creepy goat standing on its back legs staring into the void. The goat looked like it was a young one and had huge black eyes, which did not look like the eyes of a normal goat. The whole time the man was recording it, the animal did not move at all and kept in the exact same position. According to the man, he had never seen this goat near his house before. It came by just one night and was never seen again after that. The man said he was freaked out at first, but seeing it was just a goat, he went near it and recorded it. The animal never harmed anyone or made any noise. It just disappeared without anyone knowing, making the whole situation even more mysterious. Gone are the days when we used to think that bats only come out at night and sleep during the days, because this bat just totally did not follow the norm. As these guys were camping in the middle of the woods, they thought it would be nice to have a jam session right there. However, things quickly took a Disney turn when a bat came flying and tried cuddling with the man playing the guitar. Freaked out, he hurriedly pushed it away, making the bat eventually go back to where it came from. On a serious note, this is what happens when you mess with the natural habitat of animals. Not used to humans, the bat must have been freaked out due to all the noise, as they are pretty sensitive to sounds, and this is why all this happened. The most unsettling experiences often arise from encounters with the unknown, which defy our comprehension. This video, originating from Russia, captures an enigmatic creature sprinting in the distance. Upon initial observation, it may appear to be a human running. However, upon closer inspection, its posture and movements deviate slightly from those of a typical human. What makes this sighting even more confusing is that, after taking a few steps, this entity abruptly disappears into thin air, vanishing in the blink of an eye. Its eyes emit an eerie glowing light, and there's a brief, luminous trail left ahead. As it dashes away, this creature is an enigma, possessing a humanoid form, extraordinary luminous abilities, and an uncanny ability to vanish like a spirit. This video is sourced from a security camera, and the homeowner is reviewing it due to a recent robbery in which his bag was stolen from his car. As we watch the video, we observe a house situated across the street. Suddenly, a bright light materializes in front of the main door of the neighboring house. After some time, a shadowy figure emerges on the sidewalk across the street, and then we see a person coming from the right side of the frame. This person proceeds to the car discovers a bag inside, and then swiftly begins to run away with it. However, as the thief starts his escape, the enigmatic shadowy figure from across the street leaps into action, chasing after the criminal. It's as though this spectral hero had been waiting for the thief and decided to take matters into their own ethereal hands. If only every ghost could transform into such vigilant protectors, there might be no more burglaries or robberies. Some people believe in the existence of aliens, and after watching this video, I'm starting to wonder the same. In this recording made by a forest ranger, we can see what appears to be an alien-like head peering out from behind a tree. This head is quite small and seems to possess a blend of alien and human characteristics. Initially, the ranger dismissed it, thinking it was a trick of the light or his imagination playing tricks on him. However, as time passed, this mysterious creature moved its head slightly, convincing the ranger that it was not something familiar or easily explainable. This sighting left the forest ranger feeling either genuinely frightened or simply curious about the unusual being he had encountered, prompting him to quickly leave the forest. Getting a close-up view of an unknown creature is a rare occurrence, but thanks to a Reddit user, we now have a remarkable close-up glimpse of these enormous beings. In a video captured by a hiker, we can clearly observe a massive creature walking in front of the hiker by the trees. This creature possesses extraordinarily long arms and legs. It appears to use its hands to touch the ground and assist in its movement. What's particularly fascinating is the unusual shape of its hands, unlike anything seen in known creatures. Moreover, the creature's towering height and large body suggest that it might be around 9 to 10 feet tall. Many speculate that this could be a new species of Bigfoot. What are your thoughts on this intriguing discovery? This video comes from Spain, depicting a desolate location. In the distance, there's a hunched figure that initially appears to be a naked human. However, the way this figure is hunched over is truly unsettling. As the camera person continues to record and speak, the hunched figure seems to hear them. It suddenly stands up and begins chasing the camera person, who starts running, and the video ends. Some viewers of this video speculate that this might be the rake, as its naked appearance and hunched back align with the descriptions of the rake. Another possibility is that it could be an individual struggling with drug addiction, exhibiting erratic behavior. Regardless of its identity, it was undoubtedly a frightening and disturbing encounter. Trail cameras are truly fascinating because they sometimes capture strange and intriguing scenes in the wild. In a trail cam video shared by a TikToker, we see something quite remarkable yet very puzzling. The video begins by showing us a densely wooded forest, and after a few frames, we catch a glimpse of a dark figure within those woods. We only see this figure for a brief moment, but by analyzing those frames, we can make out that it resembles a creature like an ape, gorilla, or even a monkey. However, some viewers who watched the video were convinced that this might be the legendary Bigfoot, mainly due to the posture in which it was standing. It's worth noting that gorillas typically have relatively short necks, and their heads are directly connected to their shoulders without a distinct long neck. But this creature seems to have a bit of a neck. So, what are your thoughts on this? Was it a primate? Or could it possibly have been the legendary Bigfoot? This video originates from Canada, where an oil field worker captured something eerie and unsettling while working in the woods. The video begins with a snowy landscape and a forest in the distance. As the vehicle, which is recording the video, moves forward, it captures footage of the woods ahead. Upon closer examination of the slowed down video, we can observe a remarkably large and massive creature with black fur lurking in the woods. This creature is significantly larger than the surrounding trees, and its body appears exceptionally strong. What makes this sighting even more unsettling is the mystery surrounding its presence. Why is this creature lurking there? What are its intentions? Is it merely curious about the vehicle, or could it be harboring more sinister or creepy motives? Security guards are responsible for our protection, usually dealing with intruders, thieves, and burglars. But what happens when they encounter something unknown? In this video, we get a view of a hallway, and the person recording it is the security guard. He's on night duty at this facility and heard tapping noises coming from the storage room. Curiosity leads him to investigate the source of these strange sounds. We can clearly hear the tapping noises as he walks down the hallway. The guard stumbles upon an open storeroom door, and this discovery startles him. He cautiously opens the door and enters. Inside, a mannequin mysteriously drops on its own. A few moments later, a glass slab falls to the ground, adding to the eerie atmosphere. If that isn't scary enough, the sound of a little girl crying suddenly fills the room.
What the fuck? Whoa. Hello? Who's there?
The guard, concerned and brave, ventures deeper into the room to check the source of the crying. But as he inquires about who is making the noise, the voice suddenly takes on a demonic tone.
Hello? Who's there? Hello?
It seems as though a demon is now screeching. Terrified, the guard makes a run for it, and the video abruptly ends. This encounter was truly unsettling, and we can only hope that the guard is okay, as we didn't see the conclusion of this eerie incident. In this video, we are presented with a view of a backyard during the late evening, with very little light available. The forest in front of us is mostly engulfed in darkness. After a while, something unusual catches our attention in the distance. In fact, it's not just one thing, but multiple entities moving in the distance. All of these entities appear to be transparent, taking on a human-like shape, and they seem to hover above the ground. These spirit-like beings move slowly, almost as if they are casually wandering around together as a group. Now, one might think that this could be smoke from a nearby campfire. However, if it were smoke, there should be some wind to carry it, right? But when we look at the surrounding trees and notice that their leaves are still, it becomes evident that there is no wind. So, the question remains, what could these entities be? This video was recorded by a man who was in the process of moving out of his house and packing up his belongings. However, something very strange and unsettling was happening in his house. In the video, he shows himself playing video games and reveals his living room filled with packing boxes. Then, he points the camera toward the kitchen cabinets. Suddenly, one of the cabinet doors swings open wide, all on its own. There's no one nearby and no strings or wires involved. This strange phenomenon happened multiple times before, and the man can now predict which cabinet the ghost will target. But it's not just the kitchen cabinets. The man also experiences strange occurrences with his doors. In another clip, as he's engrossed in playing video games, his room door opens by itself. He shows the room, confirming that it's empty with no one inside. Towards the end of the video, as he returns to the kitchen, his chair also moves without anyone touching it. It's evident that he's dealing with a mischievous ghost in his house, and it's no wonder he's decided to move out. Just like the uncharted depths of the oceans, there are parts of our forests that remain unexplored, concealing potentially strange and fascinating creatures unknown to us. In this video, we are presented with an unsettling sight of a peculiar creature lurking near a house's fences. This creature's face doesn't resemble any typical forest-dwelling creature we're familiar with. It has a demonic appearance, with deep, sinister eyes and a hunched back that adds to its eerie demeanor. The creature is crouched near the house's fence, seemingly observing and curious about what it might find. After a while of lurking, it becomes aware of the camera's presence, and as it notices the camera, it swiftly runs away. Judging by its looks and features, some might speculate that this creature could be a dogman, as they are known for their mix of dog and wolf-like facial features. The chupacabra is a legendary creature known for its alleged attacks on livestock, particularly goats, and sometimes even humans when it's desperate. In this video, we are presented with a creature by the roadside, and at first glance, we might mistake the creature for a dog. However, upon closer examination, it becomes evident that it strongly resembles a chupacabra. This creature is devoid of hair and possesses a long, slender body with distinctive and sharp facial features, closely aligning with the typical description. In the video, we witness this feeding on livestock, presumably obtained from a nearby farm. Its sole focus seems to be satisfying its hunger, paying little attention to the person recording it. While some might speculate it could be a dog with a rare genetic mutation, we cannot say for certain. Some researchers had set up cameras all over an area where they were trying to study buffaloes and their behavior. However, what they did not know was that they were about to witness something they had never even thought of. A few seconds into the clip, we see a group of scary creatures wandering behind the buffaloes. As soon as the figures were about to become clear on the camera, the video ended abruptly. Through the little part of the clip where we can see the creatures, it shows us that the creatures were huge and had bodies covered with dark fur-like skin. Though questions arose when the video ended abruptly, there was no reason for it to end like that. Is it that the authorities are actually trying to keep something hidden from us? Or was it all just a mere coincidence? The mystery remains unsolved. This shocking video was recorded on a Ring camera. As the video starts, we can hear the dog barking at something. However, nothing can be seen anywhere. It isn't until the camera zooms into the scene that we see a ghostly figure appearing from one side and disappearing towards the other. The dog kept barking until the ghost completely disappeared. Was it really a ghost, or was it just some defect with the camera? These kinds of questions arise when the video was uploaded on YouTube by the camera owner. There were a lot of people who actually believed the video was legit, and that it was a ghost that the camera captured. To be honest, it did not look like a clip someone had tampered with, so there is a big chance that it is actually real. When a man was out with his friends in the forest and heard some creepy noises nearby. Intrigued, he went to check on what it was and then ended up recording this clip. Even though a little blurry and low in quality, we can clearly see a spooky creature jumping around in the forest. The actions look like what a monkey would do. However, the size said something else. Many people believed it to be strong evidence of Bigfoot's existence. However, others disregarded it, saying that it is just a gorilla slightly larger than others. Honestly, if you look closer, it does look like a gorilla because of the way it is hopping around. But Bigfoots are quite close to gorillas, so we can never be sure. While the world was busy with Zoom meetings during the pandemic in 2020, there are things that happened in online meetings that were enough to make anyone scared. Take this clip, for instance. A girl was on a Zoom meeting with her friends when she kept feeling something odd about the Pinocchio doll she had set up on a shelf behind her. She kept looking back at the doll again and again, sensing some bad energy from it. And after a few seconds, she looked back again, and the doll fell from the shelf, hitting her face, shocking her. Even her friends who were in the meeting with her could not believe what had just happened. When the video was uploaded on Facebook, everyone was not just concerned but scared too. Everyone has dolls in their homes, and considering these videos, you might never know when they will start acting this creepy. Some people have a strong belief in real-life superheroes with extraordinary abilities like those seen in movies. In a mysterious video captured by a traffic camera, such a perplexing scene unfolds. Initially, the road appears completely empty, and then suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, a woman mysteriously appears. She's carrying heavy bags, and her manner of walking suggests she's older. So it's puzzling how she could have moved so quickly that even the camera didn't capture her arrival. Some individuals think that there might have been a malfunction with the camera, causing it to momentarily stop and then resume when the lady was already at that point. This explanation could be plausible, especially if there's no visible timestamp in the video. However, if it isn't a technical glitch, it would indeed be fascinating to consider the possibility of humans having teleportation power. This video is really unsettling and looks like something straight out of a nightmare. It was posted on a paranormal encounter subreddit by a user who claims to have recorded a real encounter with a demon. The video begins with the camera focused on a house window in front of the person recording. In the window, we can see two glowing eyes staring directly back at the camera from a distance. This creature, or demon, had an unholy gaze and remains completely still. As the camera zooms in, we notice more eerie details, such as the creature being entirely pitch black, even though there is light around it. It reflects no light whatsoever. Additionally, as the video zooms closer, we can see horns on the demon's head. After a while, the creature moves away. Suddenly, as it goes out of sight, there's a loud and rapid banging on the door, and the video ends. What happened after that door banging is still unknown and adds to the mystery. Skinwalkers are known for their ability to take on the disguise of different animals. But have you ever seen one in its true form? This video is captured by a security camera, and right from the start we can see a figure emerging from behind a door. This creature is absolutely terrifying and has human-like features. Its body is completely naked, and it has long, slender arms, just like a skinwalker. What makes this video even creepier is the sinister expression on the skinwalker's face as it lurks and hides, seemingly waiting for someone to approach. It's hard to say what its intentions are, but one thing is for sure, they can't be good. In this video, a man starts recording because he hears his dog barking in the middle of the night. The dog appears to be scared of something or someone. Suddenly, a door in front of the man opens on its own. Frustrated, the man mentions that he's been dealing with this door opening by itself all morning, and he's tired of it.
Lie down. Go lie down. It's okay. Lie down. Stay. I've been doing this all morning and I don't have time for this today.
The man then tries to communicate with the supposed ghost, asking it to stop.
Stop. Hey buddy, I got too much going on. You gotta cut it out.
As he does, the basement light starts blinking on its own. He decides to close the door and places the camera on the counter facing the door. The door opens a couple of times, and the man closes it each time. However, when it opens for the third time, we can see a dark figure standing behind it. This startles the dog, causing it to bark loudly, and the man starts running, which can be heard.
Little buddy.
It appears that this ghost may be residing in the basement and has some plans involving the rest of the house, making the situation quite eerie and unsettling. A man kept hearing scary voices every time he went skiing on the mountain, but this time he decided to stay and record whatever was causing him to freak out. Seconds into recording the clip, he saw something he had never expected. A creature with a body covered with hair appeared in sight. The creature was going somewhere and was trying to stay hidden at the same time. The dark, dense trees make it hard to tell where the creature is, but the man still somehow managed to capture it before freaking out again and ending the video. Even though it is difficult to tell, the man must have made a run for his life, trying to get away from the being as quickly as possible. What's creepier than dolls falling onto your face and giving the death stare to the camera? A house that is haunted by the ghostly presence. This clip was taken by a camera that was set up by the owners to get proof of what they had been experiencing in the house. They were tired of telling people that their house was haunted with no one believing them, so they decided to gather some proof of it. The video started off as a normal clip, recording the dining table and everything with no humans around. But then we see the chair start to move on its own. First, it was dragged towards the table and under it. Then, as if the person did not like the position, they moved it slightly to the other side. While all this freaked the people living there out, it made everyone who saw the video scared as well. What might be causing all this? Are ghosts real? Mysterious phenomena can happen anywhere, just like it did for this guy when a bright sunny day turned into a shocking situation when he rolled his camera toward the sky and recorded this. A glowing ring in the sky with no apparent reason behind it was seen there. Not just this man, but the other people living in the area also talked about the glowing ring in the sky. This thing had never happened before and was never seen again. Even the experts were perplexed by this sight. Some said it must be a solar eclipse, but the ring looked like it was made of some kind of gas. The sun was shining brightly on the other side. Wandering around in the woods can sometimes become not so peaceful, especially when you come across a literal Bigfoot right in front of you. And no matter how dangerous the situation is, some people can never stop themselves from capturing the moment. Just like this man, who knew he would be in grave danger if the creature spotted him. Still, he decided to get a video of it first and then run. The creature, however, did not look like it was even paying attention to the man. It was busy doing something. The man kept recording it for a few seconds before the video ended. He probably must have gone to hide somewhere safe. The man later watched the video he had recorded over and over again, not believing what he had recorded. He couldn't believe that he had actually seen Bigfoot, let alone gotten a video of it. This video comes from a GoPro camera mounted on a biker's helmet after he had been in an accident, causing his helmet to fall off. Surprisingly, the camera continued recording and captured an incredibly unsettling scene. We can see two bikes lying on the ground. As we look closely, a dark figure slowly maneuvers through the bushes in the background. After moving to the far right side, it peeks out from the bushes, revealing its eerie face. This face is extremely pale, with a strange and unsettling smile and dark, deep-set eyes. At first glance, it appears as though the figure is observing the accident. However, if you pause the video when it peeks out, you'll notice that it's looking directly at the camera. This video is from a Texas home security camera, showing the view of a home's front lawn. In the video, a figure comes into view as it moves along the street at a distance. This figure appears hunched and humanoid, resembling someone with perhaps back problems or elderly in appearance. While it could be an elderly person, what's peculiar is their presence outside at 5 in the morning. Furthermore, it seems that this mysterious person is uncertain about their actions. They initially head in one direction, then appear to either remember something or forget something, leading them to change course and head in the opposite direction. While this scene isn't necessarily unexplained or supernatural, it's undeniably a strange sight. If indeed it's an elderly person in need of assistance, one can only hope they received the help they required. When you're in or near a forest at night, it's always a good idea to be prepared for the possibility of encountering something strange or mysterious. This video features 2 friends who were out near the forest to light fireworks for the 4th of July. However, their evening took an unexpected turn when they heard a rumbling, chilling scream coming from the woods.
Did you hear that? Yeah, you go first. A farm animal.
The scream left them both startled, and one of the friends initially thought it might be farm animals making the noise. Armed with only a flashlight, they decided to cautiously investigate the source of the sound. But as they ventured further, the eerie noises became even more terrifying and bizarre.
I don't like this. Get low, get low. Let's see what that is. What the hell, man?
Feeling a sense of danger, they started to backtrack. However, as they headed back, they heard another strange noise, one that sounded like a voice pleading for help.
We should get the hell out of here.
Go get it.
I'm not getting near that. I'm not getting near that. Dude, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Let's throw a firework at it?
No. Run. Dude, what? Is it still there? Go! No! Run! Run!
Their panic intensified when, in the distance, they spotted a figure approaching them. This creature emitted a screeching and aggressive sound as it moved closer. The friends wisely chose to bolt and run for their lives. This creature they encountered bore a resemblance to a creature known as the Rake. Thankfully, their quick thinking allowed them to escape the situation, avoiding a potentially dire outcome. One of our worst fears is the idea of something or someone watching us through a window while we're asleep. Unfortunately, this fear turned into a chilling reality for a frightened couple. They had noticed their bedroom window was slightly ajar in the morning, so they decided to take action and set up a camera at night to uncover the source of their unease. As the couple peacefully slumbered, the camera recorded something deeply unsettling. A dark, shadowy figure peered inside their window, as if trying to catch a glimpse of what lay within. The creature's eyes emitted an eerie, faint glow, adding to the overall sense of dread. The very fact that it silently observed the couple as they slept was disturbing enough. But what heightened their fear was the creature's imposing size. Undoubtedly, this creature had the potential to easily break through the window and gain entry into their home. Thankfully, it chose not to. Perhaps it's time for the couple to consider selling their house and finding a new place to live, as this unnerving experience has left them understandably shaken. This video was captured in California by a passerby. In the footage, we can observe a distant figure on the ground engaged in some repetitive activity. The figure seems to be deeply engrossed in digging something or perhaps excavating something from the ground. Upon closer examination, the figure appears to have a humanoid shape with a slender body and arms. It's noteworthy that the figure also possesses long hair. While it's possible that this could be someone simply digging in their backyard, the manner in which the figure is digging comes across as quite unusual and unsettling. Additionally, due to the low quality of the camera, it's challenging to discern whether the figure is fully naked or not. The video certainly raises questions and curiosity about the nature of this activity and the identity of the figure involved. We often associate squirrels with being cute, self-aware, and cautious creatures, right? But have you ever witnessed a squirrel seeking revenge? This video captures a deer munching away at a squirrel feeder. We can also spot a squirrel patiently waiting for the deer to finish so it can have its turn at the feeder. Unexpectedly, the deer strikes the squirrel with its front legs, briefly making contact with the squirrel. This touch seems to agitate the squirrel, leading to a fascinating scene. In a burst of anger and bravery, the squirrel leaps onto the deer's face and launches an attack. The startled deer jumps in surprise and quickly scurries away. This incident serves as a valuable lesson for the deer, teaching it not to disrupt the squirrel's mealtime and annoy these small creatures. It's quite remarkable how a tiny squirrel can intimidate and drive off an animal many times its size. One of my newfound favorites is watching trail cam footage of animal fights, where we can witness the captivating battles and thrills while safely observing from our homes. In this nighttime trail cam video, we encounter two wildcats cautiously sniffing around. Suddenly, one of the cats detects the presence of its rival and makes a swift move toward it, clearly intending to launch an attack. The two cats engage in a fierce altercation, accompanied by some genuinely spine-chilling yowls and cries as they fight for a brief moment. Afterward, one of the cats retreats back to its territory. This scene is quite intriguing as it highlights the fierce territorial instincts of these wild cats, showing how they will go to great lengths to defend their turf, even against members of their own species. We've all had our fond childhood memories of playing with dolls, and as we grow older, we often keep them as cherished mementos of our youth. One mom did just that, preserving her collection of dolls that held sentimental value. However, as she recorded her dolls, something rather unsettling occurred. As she pans the camera over her collection, upon closer examination in slow motion, one of the dolls appears to move its hand all on its own. What makes this encounter even more eerie is the doll's unique facial expression, setting it apart from the others. The dimly lit room adds an extra layer of spookiness to the scene. Now the question arises, was this a case of a doll being possessed, or simply an unusual random movement by a toy? Natural disasters are undoubtedly among the most frightening events we can witness, simply because they're beyond our control. This video, captured in 2020, showcases a colossal landslide on an island. In the footage, we can observe the land being inexorably drawn into the sea, almost as if it were being swallowed whole. This devastating landslide engulfs houses in its path, leaving them to dissolve into the sea with little resistance. The sheer scale of this landslide is awe-inspiring, and in the face of such natural forces, human intervention is often futile. It's a stark reminder of the awesome power of nature, and how at times, even the stout walls of our homes are no match for it. One can only hope that the residents were safely evacuated before this calamity struck, and that the person recording the video did not suffer the loss of their own home. This video transports us to Australia, where three adventurous friends embarked on a countryside hike, only to stumble upon something utterly unexpected. The video begins with the cameraman capturing the group's reactions as they hear strange sounds in the distance. Eerie chanting noises emanate from afar, visibly unsettling all three friends. As they continue along the trail, they unexpectedly encounter a group of individuals dressed in white capes emerging from behind the trees. This group's presence is quite eerie, given the remote and desolate location. It appears as though they are heading into the wilderness, a place seemingly devoid of any clear destination. The unsettling aspect of this encounter lies in the fact that they are in nowhere land, and the intentions of this white-capped group remain mysterious. It raises questions about whether they are part of a cult engaged in some kind of ritual, possibly summoning a demon or pursuing other obscure objectives. Regardless of the specifics, one can only hope that the hikers remain safe during this eerie encounter. This video hails from England, and the creators of the video claim to have captured a sighting of an unidentified flying object. In the footage, we witness an unusual formation of lights traversing the sky. These lights appear to be arranged in a seemingly random pattern, all moving together. Among them, one light shines noticeably brighter than the rest, while the others emit a consistent intensity of light. The lights seem to be traveling at a relatively high speed, maintaining their formation as they move across the sky. According to the uploader and the majority of viewers, this video documents a UFO sighting, suggesting that these lights are associated with the unknown flying objects. However, there's also the possibility that these lights could be part of a drone show, or even Starlink satellites. Without more information, it remains challenging to definitively identify these lights. If you have insights into what these lights might be, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments to help shed light on this mysterious sighting. The Loch Ness Monster remains a subject of debate, with some regarding it as a myth or fabricated story, while others firmly believe in its existence. In this video, we are presented with a view of a river, and within the water there is an intriguing sight, a creature's head. Upon closer examination, this creature's head appears to be a unique blend of lizard and dinosaur-like features. What sets this creature apart is its passive demeanor, simply sitting in the water and observing something. This enigmatic creature boasts an elongated mouth and a long neck, reminiscent of the descriptions associated with the Loch Ness Monster, which is known for its long neck. Regardless of whether this creature is the Loch Ness Monster itself or an unknown river monster, it adds to the mysteries of our natural world. Encountering a mountain lion face to face is a hiker's worst nightmare, and unfortunately, this hiker found themselves in just such a situation. In the video, we witness a mountain lion stealthily trailing the hiker. The mountain lion appears to be either hungry or feeling threatened by the hiker's presence, causing it to act with aggression. Although the mountain lion hasn't made a direct move to attack, it is clearly alert and poised for potential aggression. The hiker is visibly terrified for their life. Initially, he attempts to flee, but upon realizing that mountain lions are exceptionally fast and can easily outrun a human, he wisely halts his escape. It's an unsettling encounter, considering that these wild cats can be extremely dangerous if they choose to attack or get too close to a person. This is one of the best footage we have about Bigfoot. The footage perfectly reveals the creature. It stands out amongst the trees and has thick brown fur covering its entire body. The size of this creature is terrifying, as one doesn't usually see creatures like this on a normal day. It appears to have taken notice of the man recording him and looks towards his direction, It begins to move away, and we can see its head resembling that of an ape. When the man zoomed in, we can see that the creature is bipedal and didn't go down on fours, confirming that it wasn't an ape. This is perfect evidence of the entailed Bigfoot. Although by watching this video once again, it is kind of creepy since one doesn't know the intentions of this creature. A trail camera happens to catch an amazing footage in the middle of the night amongst the trees. An alligator walks up in front of the camera and, as though it had a long day's work, proceeds to settle on the ground and take its rest. A few minutes later, a doe appears in the vicinity and happens to take notice of the alligator sleeping. Not wanting to cause any disturbance, it walks away in the opposite direction. As it walked away, it seemed to have made some sound since the alligator notices it. It looked to be disturbed and lets out a small hiss to scare it off. It fades off to sleep, and on the next day, it is seen strolling around continuing with its hunt. In this video, a man decided to film a skunk ape while in Lettuce Lake Conservation Park. In between the trees was a figure moving slowly, heading toward the person's right side. The video isn't clear as the creature appears to walk on both four limbs, but as the footage continues, the creature is seen standing and walking on two legs. It casually crosses the swamp, and you can hear the water splashing. It appears to be taller than the man and covered with fur. It could be the famed skunk ape, the Florida Bigfoot, known to be the cousin of the Bigfoot. The skunk ape is often reported to be smaller in stature compared to traditional descriptions of Bigfoot. It is named for its foul odor, often described as being similar to a skunk. During the day, in what appears to be a slope covered with thickets and bushes, a man records what he encountered from behind one of the bushes. As the video begins, we are not able to make out what the man intended for us to see, but he moves the camera to the right and zooms in, and we are able to see a small figure standing out behind a bush. It has an abnormal small head, small neck, and small arms. Although we can't see its torso, the creature is something out of this world, maybe an alien. It was looking around as though searching for something. As it looked around, we were able to see its huge black eyes. The man could have come across an alien that has found its way to Earth, or this footage could be actually edited to create confusion. A trail cam set up by an outdoors company captured an incredible sight of a pack of wolves running through the Canadian woods on a snowy day. They seemed to be chasing after something. Wolves tend to stay in packs of 4 to 9 members, although some have been known to briefly get to 30 before. They split into smaller packs. So, while this one isn't breaking any records, it's still way above average. Especially considering there's no pups in sight and each one looks fully mature and ready to kill. A lone animal happens to meet head-on with the pack. It could be in for a rough ride since wolves are ruthless in nature, considering their prowess in hunting. I don't know where this footage comes from, but I have to say, it is the clearest footage of Bigfoot I have seen in a long time. The person filming seems to have caught a glimpse of the well-known Sasquatch taking a stroll through the forest. The characteristics are as we would expect. A tall, sturdy humanoid full of hair, while being able to walk normally on 2 legs. But I need to be skeptical as well, as I think the arms are too short compared to other more reliable descriptions I have heard of this beast. It is known that Bigfoot would have way longer arms than a normal human. So could this footage be just someone dressed in a very well-made costume? What do you think? Whatever the origin of this video, it makes for one hell of a good story. The unsuspecting hero takes us on a point-of-view journey as he rides through the woods at dusk. Within moments, he says that there are more bones than last time scattered along the trail. We catch a glimpse of some of the bones for a fleeting moment, supposedly from predators in these woods, but it seems he is familiar with this, sounding like he's been there before.
Oh god, there's even more bones than last time.
It's getting dark, so I am sure all this guy wants is to get home. He comes to a fork in the trail, and as if on cue, the almost continuous soundtrack of birds, insects, wind, and the natural world just stop. Silence. Something catches the corner of his eye. A little way up the right-hand side path. 2 glowing eyes, pale corpse-like skin, withered and terrifying. He is immediately terrified and tries his best to start the bike so he can get out. This guy has set up a camera in his bedroom because he always wakes up with an unsettling feeling that someone is watching him. In the morning, when he watches the recording, he sees this. A small figure can be seen bending over the bed. At first I thought that might have been his kid, but they claim he has no kid and is alone at home. So what exactly was that? An alien, a cryptid, or just a glitch of the camera? Known at the Patterson Gimlin film, this short motion picture, captured in 1967, claims to be actual footage of Bigfoot. Shot in North Carolina, the film has seen many attempts to both authenticate or debunk it. Patterson became obsessed with the abominable snowman after reading an article in True magazine in 1959. Years later, Patterson would invest thousands of dollars in combing Sasquatch territory, much to the ridicule of skeptics around him. Armed with a deep desire to be the first to provide scientific evidence that the creature really existed. Eventually, he did, but many are skeptical about the authenticity of the footage, which is in part related to differing accounts from both Patterson and his guide Gimlin on what exactly went down on the day they saw Bigfoot. However, Patterson maintained the footage was real up until his death. This version is the stabilized version, giving us a clearer view, and we can say that the Sasquatch in Patterson's film has all the traits we've come to know of the creature: the almost cone-shaped head, the dark fur, and the statuesque height. The creature slows its pace and looks at the camera before moving off into the woods. Nowadays, with advances in technology and the ability to record high-quality videos on cell phone cameras, hardly any of the recent footage available provides as clear a shot of Bigfoot as this one does. Is that because it's a hoax? Or has the creature just become more reclusive and camera shy? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. For some reason, this couple has installed a camera in their bedroom, and we can immediately see something strange. The door opening on its own, but also something scurrying across the floor. The guy's hands start to lift as if manipulated by some force. I am not sure if this is all faked, but if it's not, I can't imagine how someone would not feel this and awake. Is this the work of a playful spirit or just a man stretching in his sleep? You be the judge. The poster of the video claims that a woman bringing in groceries was disturbed by her daughter pointing out a creepy figure in the distance. The dog, catching sight of the human-shaped silhouette, begins to growl before running off to get a closer look. But then he stops in his tracks, unwilling to venture further. Whatever it is, it doesn't move. It just stands there watching like a psychopath. Is it human? Something else? A trick of light and the position of a branch? Either way, at no point does she make any attempt to get her dog or herself inside to safety. A street camera captures this compelling footage of a ghostly figure jaywalking. The black shadow is clearly seen crossing the street in a parking lot despite an oncoming car. The vehicle collides with the entity, who disappears from view. The concerned driver immediately stops the car to see where whatever he hit went. There is nothing there. Whatever it was simply vanishes from sight. There isn't too much information provided with the original video, or where it took place, which might be one way of piecing together the story behind what happened here. We are first met with the cutest of faces. A young seal sits aboard a boat, yet another example of an innocent animal. It hides, however, from another animal that might not be as innocent. The camera pans to the water, and we are met with the fearsomely majestic orca whales. The woman doing the filming turns her attention back to the seal, asking it where it came from.
Where did you come from? I never even seen you out there.
She already suspects why it has come aboard. It is when she turns the camera directly below the boat that our heart catches in our mouth. The orca whales, presumably suspecting the location of the seal, circle her boat. Their large mass is an imposing sight. We soon learn that there are at least 4 orca whales around the woman's boat. We can hear the desperation and fear in her voice as she repeats over and over that she doesn't know what to do.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what to do.
The situation is a fierce predicament. Her very life is in peril because of the seal she is harboring. If she sends the seal to the water, it will very surely die. If she does not, however, there is a good chance that she might. The power and majesty of nature is intimidating. The depths of our oceans hold a myriad of strange and unsettling creatures, some of which have been immortalized in historical accounts and folklore. We are familiar with legends of colossal beings like the Kraken and the Megalodon. Yet, amidst our knowledge, there exists a certain creature that eludes our understanding. This beast defies the natural order, a grotesque mutation that amalgamates the traits of an insect and a cockroach, but on a scale that defies imagination. It is the Megalodon of cockroaches, a creature so colossal and formidable that it takes the combined strength of over 9 grown men to contain it. Just like its tiny earthly counterparts, it boasts the unmistakable pincers and leg structure of a cockroach. However, what sets it apart are the peculiar wings adorning its scaly body. The origins of this creature remain shrouded in mystery. Has humanity managed to track down and eradicate the last remnants of its species? Or perhaps, was there only ever one of its kind? I did some digging around this, and it seems pictures such as the one you've just seen, or this one, are in fact fake and created by an artist who I have included in this video's description if you are interested in seeing more of his artworks. I am just amazed at how real they look. Concealed within the thick foliage, a group of adventurous tourists find themselves in a remarkable and unsettling situation. Emerging gracefully from the bushes are a majestic grizzly bear and her 2 adorable cubs. Contrary to expectations, the bears exhibit a serene demeanor, devoid of any signs of aggression. The fortunate tourists are granted a rare and awe-inspiring encounter with these magnificent creatures. Amidst the mixture of fear and wonder, they understand the precariousness of the situation. However, against the odds, they manage to navigate this encounter unscathed, preserving both their lives and the memory of this unforgettable experience. The cameraman finds himself in a situation filled with mixed emotions of worry and excitement. Faced with a mysterious being, possibly Bigfoot, he quickly instructs his loved ones to seek safety indoors while he embarks on a pursuit.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
The anticipation builds as the large, hairy creature moves cautiously along the side of a forest road, eventually vanishing into the dense foliage. Amidst the pursuit, occasional grunts and ape-like hoots pierce the air, hinting at the creature's presence. These vocalizations could be interpreted as warnings, signaling to the cameraman to back off and maintain distance. The creature's intent becomes clearer through its vocal communication, urging caution on the cameraman's part. The cameraman's decision to heed the warning serves as sound advice, considering the creature's imposing size and evident strength. In the beginning of the video, we are immediately drawn to the peculiar movement of a hospital bed. At first glance, one might assume that the bed is being influenced by a gentle breeze or wind, but upon closer observation, it is clear that the movements are erratic and seemingly independent. The lack of movement in the surrounding environment, such as twigs or leaves, just emphasizes the unusual nature of the movement. The behavior of the bed suggests a sense of playfulness of an unknown entity. Rather than being a result of external forces, it appears as though the entity itself is actively engaging with the hospital bed. The back and forth rolling motion shows a deliberate action, as if the entity is enjoying the interaction and finding amusement in manipulating the bed. On August 31st, 2009, two hikers exploring the Tatra Mountains in Poland unexpectedly came across a fascinating sight: a dark figure standing out against the pristine white snow. The creature, resembling the legendary Bigfoot or Sasquatch, possesses a remarkable size and height. As it descends the rocky terrain, the creature remains unaware of the hiker's presence. The cameraman's reactions demonstrate a mix of curiosity and alarm, although they consider the possibility that the creature might be a large man. The remote location of the mountains raises questions about how such an individual could have arrived there. On July 28th, deep within the darkened halls of Stanley Palace, two intrepid ghost hunters set out on a quest to unravel the mysteries that lay dormant within its haunted confines. Stanley Palace, a 16th century mansion in Chester, England, holds a haunting past. Built on an old priory site, it has a rich history tied to the Civil War and has witnessed paranormal activity. Visitors and volunteers report strange happenings, including disembodied sounds of children, the apparition of James Stanley, 7th Earl of Derby, a malevolent spirit called Blackfriars, and a woman playing the piano. Stanley Palace is a supernatural hotspot, just as you can see in this video. As they navigate the haunted location, they become unwitting participants in a chilling encounter. However, it is not until they review the footage later on that they discover a startling revelation. Upon rewinding the recorded footage and zooming in, the ghost hunters notice the presence of a face peering over the balustrade, seemingly observing them from above. This glimpse of a ghostly visage confirms the paranormal activity they had suspected during their investigation. The sight of a face appearing unexpectedly, especially in a place known for its haunting, is unnerving. It raises questions about the identity of the apparition and the nature of its connection to Stanley Palace. The orbs floating around right from the beginning also contribute to the ethereal atmosphere. This is an aerial image that will freeze your blood, a colossal snake that stretches menacingly across the frame. This was caught by a helicopter surveying the lands of Congo when it caught one of the scariest sights one can find in nature. The green things all around it should be trees, so just compare it to that to understand how insanely big this thing is. The photograph, captured in haunting black and white, intensifies the bone-chilling aura, allowing your mind to fill in the details of the snake's ebony scales and the murky depths it lurks within. The very thought of encountering such a beast sends a tremor of unease, Its sheer magnitude hints at the power and primal force it possesses. How does such a creature survive and thrive in the untamed depths of the Congo? The Congo, with its vast and unexplored wilderness, provides the perfect backdrop for this enigma. Its large forests and untamed rivers serve as a sanctuary for elusive creatures, and many such gigantic creatures have been spotted, not only in Congo, but in many other parts of the world. In the face of this fear-inspiring creatures, you can't help but feel a primal sense of dread. Our suspense thickens as we delve deeper into the photograph, attempting to decipher the enigmatic figure. To unravel its true nature, we had to zoom in quite a bit. We scrutinized the explicit humanoid blur that emerges from the tall, dense crop growth. Could it be a mere human, or does the unearthly setting suggest an extraterrestrial origin? Standing tall and upright, the figure casts an eerie silhouette against the backdrop of the towering crops. Its pallid complexion further adds to its unearthly presence, hinting at an otherworldly origin. The blurry quality of the figure accentuates a sense of swift movement, as if it is traversing the landscape with unparalleled speed. So did the owner of this trail camera catch a cryptid on the move? Or is it just some trick of the camera? This is a creepy sight. Well, suffice to say that this crab has made a plan in the absence of other options. The severed head of a doll has taken on new life as we watch in astonishment. A crab, seemingly driven by necessity, has chosen an unconventional refuge in the form of a severed doll's head. Step by step, the crab maneuvers the doll head toward the water's edge, its instinctual need for safety and protection guiding its every move. As the waves lap at the shore, the doll's smile remains intact. Finally, the moment arrives when the crab, having reached the desired destination, emerges from within the doll head and slips gracefully into the water. A trail camera becomes an unsuspecting witness to a captivating battle of territory and survival between a deer and a group of cunning raccoons. The raccoons, opportunistic scavengers of the night, have detected the deer's presence and recognize the potential for a shared feast. However, the deer, possessive of its discovery, refuses to yield its bounty. Suddenly, the deer launches into action. In a display of instinctual determination, it charges at the group of raccoons with surprising agility. Caught off guard by the deer's sudden aggression, the raccoons scatter in a flurry of fur and paws. This person is stumbling through the forest at night. It is unclear why this would ever be a good idea. As soon as the night turns pitch black, they spot something terrifying. A creepy, pale, and corpse-like humanoid appears to be hunched over something. It lets out a weird cry, kind of like a baby, if a baby were a grown man. Or a goat with sore throat. I'm intrigued that the camera person didn't turn to run at this point. In numerous videos, this particular type of cryptid is often captured still or moving very slowly. Is it something to fear, or is it afraid of us? And how did the cameraman get out of this situation? A playful entity resembling a figure of light shimmies down a street lamp, dances the running man, and then seems to hopscotch its way to the right of the screen. Folklore often speaks of a will-o'-the-wisp, which appears as an atmospheric ghost light often seen by travelers at night and usually located near bogs and marshes. Not, as in this instance, at the local parking lot. Known by a variety of names, the Hinkypunks being another one of them, it is said to mislead travelers by resembling a flickering lamp or lantern. In urban legends, folklore, and superstition, they are typically believed to be ghosts, fairies, or elemental spirits. In literature, a will-o'-the-wisp metaphorically refers to a hope or a goal that leads one on but is impossible to reach, or it is something one finds strange or sinister. Modern science ascribes the phenomenon to bioluminescence caused by oxidation of organic decay. Either way, it is quite magical. A curious visitor peeps in at the window. I've watched this video a few times, and with each shift in focus, another probability emerges. Is it a little gray man on his first abduction mission, or is it a black cat? The enhanced replay with more light seems to reveal a hairy humanoid creature covered in fur or leaves, with two glowing eyes that remains all but camouflaged in the dark. Let us know what you see. Wrong answers only. In the following footage, a guy describes seeing an unidentifiable creature near his fence. While recording, he captures an eerie scream emanating from the forest just beyond his property. The sound is quite terrifying, but is closely followed by a kind of bellow, which could be an animal in pain or the sound of deer or elk during rutting season.
And... Did you hear that?
I'm becoming increasingly convinced that living near the woods is a bad idea.
Oh.
This person is filming this through a window because they saw something terrifying moving slowly across their street. In a grainy footage, we can see them filming a small white slow-moving thing. It has the customary pale skin and elongated neck that has become common with these sightings. But unlike others, the torso is short and the creature is bipedal. This one is also smaller and shorter than others. It is clear based on the quality of the video that it has been zoomed in, and that coupled with the angle is an important clue in this puzzle. Are we merely seeing an elderly person walking in their garden from a height? If you have any theories, let us know. This video claims to capture some kind of cryptid, but if the dark, blurry, zoomed-in nature of it is anything to go by, this really could be anyone's guess. To me, it looks like they stumbled upon a badger minutes after it captured its prey, which may explain why it didn't just run off. There also appears to be distinct markings or stripes on the creature's face, which leads me to believe it's an animal. Watch closely towards the end of the video when it's had enough of the car lights in its face, and it turns to shuffle off. A distinct tail can be seen. There's a lot going on in this video. Two guys shooting the breeze while the driver motors at breakneck speed through a forest. His passenger captures the journey on video. Amongst the trees, and only for a fraction of a second as they speed by, a bipedal creature with dark fur is spotted running. Is this really a creepy stroke of luck, or an amateur filmmaker's first horror short? The dialogue itself seems pretty stylized and feels almost scripted.
It's like, I got a friend, Jimmy. He's an alcoholic.
Let's watch that again in slow motion. What do you think? Is it real? It's that time of year again, when bucks gather in a show of who is the strongest, to fight each other antler to antler, in the hopes of securing their territory and the available females. Males need to choose their opponents wisely, not only for bragging rights, but to avoid severe injury or even death. Watching them go at it, I can only imagine this must be fighting where your weapon of choice is the end of a hat stand. The somewhat choreographed display is accompanied by a series of vocalizations, and the final stages, with their antlers locked into position, they will begin pushing each other in a display of dominance until tired out or injured. In this video, a father and his young son bond on a nature walk. They also experience a moment of terror that will scar that kid for life. We'll ignore the fact that Pops is too busy with his camera to fully pay attention to his child stomping on thin ice. Dad then hears something and with his zoomed-in, extremely poor quality cell phone camera, runs to investigate where he claims to have spotted a possible Sasquatch. If you watch this video enough times and stare repeatedly in the general direction of where his camera is facing, a shape will become visible. Whether this is Bigfoot, one guy's trip on opioids, or your deep desire to see the point of his terror is entirely up to you. Lots of cool things live in caves, such as bats, spiders, and blind salamanders with freakishly pale blue and pink transparent skin, as well as the occasional grizzly bear. But I have never seen such a thing. It is unclear where these caves are, which is a pity because I'd like to avoid them. The precise size of the creature is also difficult to ascertain given the angles, but it seems to compare with an alligator. But then again, who wants to stick around for photographs with that snapping at your heels? If you can identify what this is, let us know in the comments. Look, we get it. Not everyone likes media attention or a camera in their face. Especially this grumpy badger running from the paparazzi. Let me tell you something. Badgers are aggressive. They bite. They also prey upon gophers and squirrels and have been known to attack domestic animals too. Though usually not aggressive unless provoked, their ferocious teeth and sharp claws make them a formidable animal in the wild. A trail cam captures a black bear mother and her 2 cubs. They will stay with her for around 1 to 3 years, where she will teach them all about what it takes to survive in the wild. These bears are excellent swimmers, and their nails can grow as long as a blackboard eraser. A rather demure cow moose spots the camera and comes in for a closer look. These creatures prefer cold climates, and females can weigh in at a hefty 700 pounds. They are also able to kick in any direction with their front hooves. Squirrels and hares are not usually prone to hating on each other, but every now and then a squirrel with a chip on its shoulder, or possibly rabies, will step out of his lane and go for gold. Watch as this timid hare is propelled into flight when his assailant comes tearing out of the bushes. All species of deer have a range of vocalizations. Anything from barking, grunting, snorting, bleating, bellowing, or in this instance, screaming. There are 2 possible reasons for this particular vocal, which is reminiscent of Mariah Carey on her self-titled album of 1990. Either it's calling a mate or it's realized it is in terrible danger. Nighttime security footage is always fascinating because visibility is often poor, and there's often no sound, so you pretty much need to figure out what happened based entirely on what you see. Unless there's a first-hand account, this guy has been alerted to a noise. He appears armed with nothing but a flashlight. Scanning the dark, something or someone suddenly rises over the wall. It happens for only a fraction of a second, and the visibility is so poor that the figure appears as more of a shape than something with definable features. In terror, he stumbles back, falling on the floor. Notice how he's doing his utmost to ensure that the light stays on. Who or what is the shadowy intruder? A burglar? A neighbor playing a prank? Or something more sinister? The middle of who knows where. A car is parked somewhere dark and deserted. A woman speaks to something in the shadows that her flashlight is focused on. I can see you. A few glowing eyes are visible, some too far apart to be human. What are there? Animals? Pranksters in Halloween costumes? Something peers out from behind a bush, and then we see it, the familiar balloon-shaped head and those impossibly large and terrifying obsidian eyes. The strange-looking entity turns to show itself in profile. Its body in the light seems freakishly flat and one-dimensional. The footage ends as bizarrely as it started. Pity they couldn't get some kind of dialogue going. A trail camera picks up an unusual sight of a creature fumbling with the camera. Only fur from the animal can be seen. The creature had come around and spotted the camera, and perhaps out of curiosity, it tries to figure what the object is. In the process, it reveals its face, and we can see it's a bear. The bear, with its large paws and inherent wilderness, inadvertently damages the camera as it forcefully rips it off, showcasing its inability to handle delicate objects. A drone captures the following footage in Tennessee. Some very large deciduous trees are being violently shaken by something or someone. Some have suggested that it's the wind, but the area is concentrated, and so that doesn't seem likely. One possibility is that a crew of tree fellers are working down there, and the trees are being felled with ropes. But from this angle and the fleeting moments where spaces between the trees are visible, I am unable to detect any human. Felling trees of this size would also require some kind of mechanical equipment. Someone said that a tiger cat feller buncher is compact and powerful enough to uproot these trees. Presumably it too would be visible, and isn't. Some have claimed to see a large, dark figure, but only fleetingly, suggesting that what is causing the commotion is not human after all, but a Sasquatch, violently shaking the tree to prove its prowess, mark territory, or capture prey. It's a pity that whoever captured this footage didn't think to fly in closer and confirm what caused the phenomenon for once and for all. If you have any ideas, drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. This video shows the living area of a quiet cabin in the middle of the woods. The residents are away for the weekend, but somehow they get an unexpected guest. Without a knock on the door, it bursts open from its hinges, and the impact breaks open another door by the side. Then the special guest strolls in comfortably. A medium-aged brown bear scouts the room cautiously before returning to the door to check if the noise alerted anyone in the area. Brown bears have been recorded moving 300-pound boulders, so a 100-pound door stood no chance. Good thing the residents weren't home, as things could have ended very differently. Driving across town at night, a family stops briefly to stretch out their legs. Then they spot something on the other side of the road and begin recording. As the video begins, we see a figure emerge from the tree and appear to be hiding from the family, something which it fails at. It has a black coat around it and is taller than an average human, which are all characteristics of the creature often referred to as Bigfoot. After observing safely from a distance, the family stopped recording, got into their vehicle, and resumed the journey to get as far away from the creature as possible. A group of friends went on a cave exploration trip together. They stumbled upon a narrow path in the cave, and when they peered into it, they saw something unexpected. Upon arriving at the entrance to the path, they see a mountain lion which appears to be stuck. It may have gotten in the path, but halfway through decided to get out, and ended up getting stuck in the process. The big cat looked helpless and terrified at the same time, and those are usually the deadliest ones. Noting this, the cavers wisely turned and headed back out of the cave to explore a different cave, hopefully one without wild animals. Matthew and his dog were having a good time at their home in the woods. Suddenly, a deer climbs up the tree and balances on the wooden fence. Sensing danger, Matthew tries to scare the black bear away with wide body movements and clapping his hands loudly. His Yorkie tries to do the same, but it doesn't end well. The fearless Yorkie jumps on a stack of rocks to try to scare the bear, but the bear paws at the Yorkie, causing the dog and Matthew to both jump back. That showed the sheer strength of the bear. and what might happen if it got over the fence. After a couple of barks and claps, the bear retires and takes off into the woods, preventing what would have been a catastrophic situation. Trail cameras are strategically placed in forests to capture the beauty of nature and its creatures. However, sometimes they manage to capture something quite different, something far, far away from the usual beauty. This video comes from a wildlife camera recording a forest at night. In the recording, we can see that there's a movement in the distance in bushes, and it's not immediately clear what it is. But the unsettling part comes when we realize that this movement is of a mysterious presence, and it isn't moving away. It's actually coming towards the camera. As this eerie figure approaches, we can make out its head and a boxy body, but no arms. What's even creepier is that while its head appears human-like, its body doesn't resemble any known creature on Earth. Whatever this terrifying being is, one thing is certain: you wouldn't want it lurking in your backyard. An adventure explorer shared this video on his Facebook page. He used a drone to film a nearby field and stumbled upon an abandoned house in the midst of the field. Next, what he captured on film is like something from a chilling nightmare. In the video, we can see the worn-out and deserted house standing in the field. At first glance, everything appears ordinary, but as the drone moves to the back of the property, it reveals an open door. Inside that doorway, a human-like figure is hunched over, engrossed in eating something. What's eerie is that this figure, with its pale white appearance, moves like a wild dog. The way it eats and moves is just unsettling and terrifying. What could this creature be? A nightcrawler or perhaps a skinwalker? It's up to you to decide. Deserted islands are a paradise for those who crave adventure, offering endless exploration. Yet, these islands also have secrets that human eyes weren't meant to witness. This video is captured by a drone camera sent to one such abandoned island. The footage first showcases the island's natural beauty and a glimpse of a small, forsaken cottage. After that, another abandoned house comes into view, its entrance blocked by a massive wooden piece. And then the drone flies off. Did you catch it? Let's zoom in a bit closer. As we zoom in on the glass window of this abandoned house, we notice a shadowy form materializing on it, only to vanish after a few moments. This figure looks like a shadow of a really tall person. However, the island has remained abandoned for a decade now, so there's no explanation for who or what that presence could be. Luckily, the explorer chose to use a drone to document this eerie encounter rather than going there in person. One can only imagine what might have unfolded had they gone there themselves. During a mountain hike, a hiker suddenly spotted something in the distance and started recording. In the video, we can make out a large creature covered in a thick coat of black fur, moving through the woods. Although we only catch a mere glimpse, it's quite a sight. Some might suggest it's just an ape, but the way it's walking on two legs isn't typical for an ape. Moreover, its immense size and body structure are resembling a Bigfoot. The mix of awe and fear that this creature evokes is quite a feeling. Regardless of whether it turns out to be a Bigfoot or not, the most important thing is that the hiker was safe and sound. This drone video is from Cannock Chase, England. The footage captures a figure dressed in white standing at the forest's edge. The video provides various angles of this figure, with long hair and an enigmatic stance. The figure gazes directly at the drone, which is quite unsettling. Interestingly, this area has witnessed other sightings of the same white-clad entity. Legend suggests it might be the spirit of a victim from the killings that happened in that area. While there's a chance it could be a prank or occult activity, the intriguing possibility remains. Could the tales of the black-eyed spirits hold some truth? A man named Igor Kryan shared a video on his YouTube, believing he captured the first ever sighting of a Yeti. In the video, a snowy forest stretches ahead, and a creature stands in the foreground, as white as the snow itself. This creature is truly unique, with its size and long arms. Its body shape is resembling that of a snow wolf, but with extra long arms and a distinct frame. Its face also doesn't resemble that of any creature we know. The eerie aspect of this footage is that it appears the Yeti is aware of being watched, its gaze fixed on the person recording. Examining this creature up close is an experience I'd rather never have in my lifetime. Road trips with your family create cherished memories, but sometimes those memories can take a scary turn. This video comes from a family on a road trip. They spot a moose by the roadside and start recording, but what they capture goes beyond the moose.
Oh wow! Il mange, il est tout relax là.
Je peux voir, je peux voir?
Ben tu le vois, regarde dehors.
Non, je vois rien, attends.
You are a star today.
In the forest, another creature can be seen lurking. This cryptid stalker moves restlessly, as if waiting for the right moment. We don't know if it's waiting to pounce on the animal or perhaps on the family in the car. The creature itself doesn't resemble anything familiar. It's hunched over and has an eerie white appearance, reminiscent of the rake. What adds to the fright is that the children are also inside the car, witnessing this from a rather unsafe distance. What's your take on this mysterious encounter? Two friends embarked on an adventure into the unknown Canadian woods, for God knows why. Little did they know that their adventure would turn into a living nightmare. While one friend ventured inside the forest to further explore and look around, the other used a drone to capture the forest's beauty. However, their peaceful exploration took a terrifying twist when screams echoed through the woods. In the video, we can see that the drone is going inside the forest and captures the man running away from something, but as the drone gets ahead, a little we see the source of his fear. The man is chased by a large, fully grown bear, and he was running for his life. However, thank God, the drone distracted the bear just enough to give the friend a chance to escape. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if the bear caught up to the man. Even hideous evil monsters need to stay in shape to terrorize. This video captures an eerie tall figure on a distant mountain. Strangely, it's not engaged in any horrifying actions. It's simply doing push-ups on the mountainside. As the video zooms in, we notice its lengthy legs and arms extended for each push-up. While it might be tempting to think it's just an exceptionally tall person, comparing its size to the distance and mountain makes us doubt that explanation. What's more, upon closer inspection, the figure seems to possess webbed fingers and a single leg, adding to its unsettling nature. So, what's your take on this? Was it merely a tall individual going on with his mountain workout, or was it an unknown creature getting in shape to terrorize us? Drones have opened up a world of amazing sights that were once beyond our reach. Flying over Canada's calm river, this drone captures an intriguing scene. A creature in the river that resembles a river monster. This unknown aquatic being has a really long body and swims on the water's surface, resembling of a shark's movement. Some might argue it's a collection of algae or debris attached to a fallen tree from the frost, now floating on the water. However, this creature is in motion. Despite the calm waters, it creates ripples around itself, which makes it a living being. Also, another thing to notice is that this thing has snow on its back. So it could be that it was on the ground at nighttime. That means it could be possible that it's a large crocodile. What if it was the first ever real sighting of a monster like Nessie? Witnessing a swarm of birds soaring through the sky on a sunny day is a delight for nature enthusiasts. But when it comes to swarms of bats, it's an entirely different story. This drone recording captures an eerie spectacle. Millions of creatures emerging from a cave in Thailand. What's unsettling is that these aren't your typical birds. They're bats, and they're swarming out of the cave in a way that gives you chills. The video shows an unending wave of bats, creating a massive swarm that seems to stretch indefinitely. They move with a sense of purpose, heading towards an unknown destination. If their trajectory leads them to another cave, that's well and good. But what if their path takes them toward a populated area? Imagine just how terrifying it would have been to find the cave while all of them were still inside. A Reddit user shared a truly spine-chilling video showing an encounter with what appears to be a white Bigfoot. The footage, which has captivated the online community, showcases a man making his way through the thick darkness of a dense forest, using a flashlight to illuminate his path. As he continues onward, sweeping his flashlight to reveal the path ahead, it suddenly reveals something that sends shivers down the spine. There, in the beam of light, stands a creature, staring right back at him. What sets this encounter apart is the unsettling detail. This creature is white, whereas Bigfoots are typically depicted as black. The man's flashlight casts its glow on the figure, and in response, the creature quickly runs into the shadows before the video comes to an end. Upon close inspection of the creature's face, its head shape and features closely resemble that of a Bigfoot, yet its eyes remain pitch black, not even reflecting the torch. While we may never truly know the identity of this mysterious being, one thing is clear: encountering such a creature during a forest expedition is a scenario best left to the realm of nightmares. This trail camera has caught a surprising picture. A mother bear, majestic and powerful, tenderly lifts her small cub to peer inside a metal drum. As we observe this enchanting scene, we are captivated by the protective and maternal nature of the mother bear, as well as how human-like her motherly behavior seems. This trail camera captured a comical scene that defies conventional expectations. Behold, a circus act of raccoons unfolds before our eyes, showcasing their ingenuity and the remarkable resilience of these creatures. 4 raccoons, seemingly working in harmony, have fashioned themselves into a peculiar tower, each one perched upon the other. It is as if they have formed a makeshift ladder to reach a lofty prize, something tantalizingly out of reach. The Wyoming Police Department recently reviewed their security footage, only to come across an unsettling and disturbing incident. The security cameras were set there to see if the police have to prepare for some wildlife encounter, things such as black or grizzly bears, but were for sure not expecting such a haunting sight. In the footage, a deranged figure unexpectedly appeared and deliberately drew attention to itself. The person's looks were chilling as it walked directly in front of the camera, stared directly into the lens, and swiftly moved past it. The footage revealed the person to stick around for a while, with a visage that can only be described as demonic and terrifying. Its appearance was far from peaceful or friendly, exuding an aura of malevolence. The person's bold and fearless response to the camera leaves little room for imagination regarding how it might interact with an unsuspecting bystander on the streets. This unnerving sight, caught on security cameras, raises concerns about the potential dangers posed by this unidentified person. Its deliberate act of making its presence known, and the eerie manner make it really creepy. Could it be something sinister at play, or just someone playing a prank? It is videos like these that make us grateful for technology, so we may be able to spot this famed creature. Apparently, someone was randomly flying their drone in the forest during winter, and by accident, they claim to have captured some of the best footage of the elusive creature known as Bigfoot. This drone footage leaves us with little comfort. In the case of this Bigfoot creature, its relaxed manner of movement captured on video can be surprising. This observation leaves room for speculation about the true nature of the creature. While its calm demeanor in the footage might suggest a non-aggressive or non-threatening disposition, we should still be on guard. Some individuals may find solace in the fact that technology enables us to document and potentially understand these beings, while others may feel uneasy or uncertain about their presence. Ultimately, the true nature and intentions of these creatures remain unknown. This hospital security camera caught a strange interaction. A police officer can be seen moving around in a calm manner. All the while, 2 balloons can be seen around. The security guard patrolling the hospital wing appears unfazed by this. He looks in their direction, but rather than straight at them, he seems to look a bit more downwards, as if there would be someone holding the balloon. The officer continues down the hall, and the balloons seem to follow him. The officer turns back and stands in place, looking at the balloons, while at the same time the balloons also stop. We can see the officer gesticulating as if he is talking to someone there. Could this officer have seen something we cannot in this video? Could these balloons have been controlled by the apparition of some ghostly figures? Maybe what the officer was seeing were 2 kids who lost their lives in that ward? This security camera caught some bizarre footage. Under the cover of darkness, amidst a tranquil garden, a chilling sight unfolds. The video captures a mysterious woman lurking in the shadows. What is strange is that the house seems to be placed in some remote area, as no other lights can be seen. Maybe this is a cabin somewhere in a forest, which makes everything around this footage even creepier. Is this woman a ghostly apparition? Is she bound by the weight of a dark fate, forever trapped in a twisted time loop? Does she wander endlessly, condemned to haunt the garden, and fix her gaze upon the house looming above? It is indeed a strange sight, which would make one instantly think about a ghostly apparition. She moves with an unsettling calmness, each step calculated and deliberate. So what is her purpose there? Is she a lost soul trapped in this area, forever bound to haunt it? Or is this just a prank played by some woman trying to scare off their neighbors? The concept that icebergs are typically larger underneath the water surface than they appear on top is commonly understood, but what is less known is how dangerous they can also be. In the video, the footage captures a few explorers who find themselves in the path of an immense and imposing iceberg. They are getting ready with special gear to climb on it. They begin climbing it, looking a bit carefree, but little did they know, the iceberg was not stable at all, as they are about to find out. Once the boat starts going away, suddenly, the iceberg starts moving, immediately turning from a still object to a deadly trap. We can see in the clip that the 2 climbers narrowly managed not to get dragged down and hit by the iceberg flipping. Icebergs are usually formed from fresh water, and their weight distribution changes as they melt, causing them to flip, which was almost the death of these guys. Thankfully, their boat was nearby and quickly plucked them uninjured out of the water. The cameraman's decision not to flee when confronted by the colossal bear displays a remarkable level of composure and wisdom. Instead of succumbing to fear, he chooses to capture the majestic and raw beauty of the creature through the lens of his camera. There is an underlying tension, as if the cameraman acknowledges the potential danger he faces, even to the point of capturing his own demise. However, in an unexpected turn of events, the bear displays an uncharacteristically calm demeanor. It settles down beside the cameraman, exuding an aura of tranquility. The sheer presence of this magnificent creature, so close yet seemingly at ease, adds a touch of awe to the scene. As the camera continues to roll, it becomes apparent that the bear is not alone. More bears emerge along the riverbank, creating a captivating tableau of wildlife in their natural habitat. It's a scene that evokes a sense of reverence for the untamed beauty of nature. One evening, the commercial vehicle enforcement police officers stationed at Donner Pass had an unexpected and somewhat comical encounter with a wandering bear. To the officers' surprise, the bear casually opened the front door and strolled right into the office. Unfazed by the vending machine offerings, the bear seemed determined to find something more enticing. Curiously, the office appeared to be unoccupied at the time, allowing the bear to explore freely without interruption. Its visit was brief, as it soon departed, leaving behind an amused but perhaps relieved group of officers. The sight of the officers, now emboldened by the bear's departure, venturing out in pursuit of it, adds a touch of lightheartedness to the scene. However, the bear's curiosity wasn't fully satisfied as it returned a few nights later. This time, it sought its midnight feast in a large trash receptacle. It seems that the mundane nature of the police office didn't hold enough allure to entice the bear for a repeat visit. Among the collection of videos on our channel, one stands out as a truly breathtaking spectacle. Set against the backdrop of purple blanketed hills, a heartwarming scene unfolds. The playful interaction of two adorable fox cubs. These young creatures radiate innocence and joy, finding delight in the simplest moments of their youth. The spectators, fortunate enough to witness this extraordinary sight, are granted a rare opportunity to observe the beauty of this tender interaction. The cubs do not display signs of fear or aggression. Instead, they remain undeterred, continuing their hillside adventures with unabated enthusiasm. Indeed, the power of a protective mother knows no bounds, and the same holds true for a hen. In this video, a remarkable fight scene can be seen as an eagle sets its sights on a mother hen and her chicks. The eagle, perhaps thinking it had an easy catch, soon finds itself taken by surprise. Without hesitation, the mother hen launches a fearless counterattack against the eagle, using her sharp claws to fend off the threat. The eagle's confidence in securing a meal quickly wanes as the mother hen relentlessly pounces and strikes with all her might. Forced into a defensive stance, the eagle's hopes of a successful hunt diminish as the mother hen furiously defends her vulnerable offspring. Maybe the eagle should have taken a safer landing spot. A peaceful night at home. A woman prepares for bed when her dog spots something or someone lurking in the shadows, just beyond the living room.
Get ready to go to bed myself. What the f*** is that? What? Oh, God! Fuck!
If their reaction and hers are anything to go by, this isn't a hoax. Watch closely as the apparition appears for mere seconds before vanishing again. We're bringing you some really clear and compelling Bigfoot sightings in this episode of Trail Terror. Watch as this unsuspecting person spots the bipedal creature with its characteristic reddish fur in close proximity. There is the briefest moment where the two face, the beast alerted to the camera person by their panicked shouting. Fortunately, the shy Bigfoot disappears into the forest, avoiding confrontation. A family enjoying a snowy winter walk spot a creature in the distance, scrambling for a phone they capture through zoomed-in footage, what appears to be our elusive, abominable snowman. The creature appears to be basking on a rocky outcrop. In this position, it looks somewhat similar to a grizzly bear. That is, until it stands up. Bigfoot or Big Knot. Let us know what you think in the comments. Bears are wildly majestic and ferocious creatures, whom we featured in earlier episodes here on Trail Terror. It is unclear, based on the sound of what seems to be multiple bears and the videographer's close proximity to them, whether they are used to humans or whether these guys just have a death wish. The bears being filmed seems calm and oblivious to the camera operator as he shuffles into the water for a cooling dip. Within seconds, a man comes tearing out of the brush, hotly pursued by a large and clearly agitated bear. Despite the risk to his life, he sports a grin as he approaches the camera as whistles and gunshots are used to stall and ward off the irate creature. Tame or not, it is a terrifyingly close call. This poor mother bird's eggs fall prey to a sneaky Tasmanian devil who within moments has raided the nest and made off with the precious loot. The shrewd predators, who are roughly the size of a dog with males weighing in at 18 pounds, are strictly carnivorous and have been known to feast on roadkill and even dig up decaying flesh. Known as scavengers, they will eat almost anything, including bones and fur. A blue luminous sphere-like entity is captured in this unsteady, low-res footage. It appears to be glowing independently on the sand and is not being reflected off anything. It is not at once clear whether the sighting is on a beach or a desert. Is this paranormal or extraterrestrial? Hit us up with more info. Somewhere in New Mexico, a woman spots someone moving in the darkness just beyond her window. Reaching for her camera, she captures this man taking a moonlit walk. Strange thing is, he disappears from the frame. At first, he is visible and clear as day, but then he disappears into the fabric of the night. Is this a ghost or a glitch in the Matrix? Security camera footage captures something odd moving amongst the trees just beyond property's periphery. Watch as a shadowy figure is seen visibly darting between the trees. Although the video quality is somewhat poor and the entity appears for only a few seconds, the creature's pale visage and almost luminescent skin tone is not unlike other cryptids we've witnessed before. Is this what the footage has captured? There is something distinctly creepy and alien about the way it both looks and is moving. At a cozy American family pool party, the home security camera had caught something magnificent. As everyone was busy gossiping at the party, we can see a dog dashing towards the pool. To everyone's amazement, the dog appears to do the impossible. It walks effortlessly on the water's surface. Yes, you watched that. The dog just walked on water, defying expectations and leaving everyone there amazed. However, the dog's aquatic feat was not a result of magic or extraordinary abilities. In fact, it was a clever trick involving a net placed strategically on the pool's surface. Upon closer observation, the net's shadow is seen in the pool, revealing the secret behind the illusion. The dog's seemingly miraculous stroll was actually thanks to the net, creating the incredible illusion of walking on water. Even though the mystery was solved, the moment remains set in memory as a truly amazing sight. In an Australian forest, an unbelievable and scary sight was caught on a wildlife camera one night in the darkness. Thanks to these wildlife cameras, we are now granted the privilege of witnessing a fierce and intense buck battle from a distance, without venturing close to the scene. we witness an incredible showdown between two bucks. With a strong display of power and aggression, the bucks clash horns with tremendous force, resulting in a resounding crack that echoes through the air. The ground beneath them rumbles, and the sheer impact of their collision is both alarming and awe-inspiring. While we may have seen videos of buck fights online, this footage allows us to experience the raw intensity up close and personal, a truly rare occurrence. Definitely, you wouldn't want to come across them fighting while hiking. When you think of the word fox, what comes to mind? Probably clever, right? But have you ever witnessed these clever creatures in a fight? It's like a scene from a nightmare. In this video from a trail camera, a fox is seen standing and appearing alert, as if it's aware of a potential threat approaching from one side. Suddenly, the fox's head tilts, its face contorts into an angry expression, and its mouth opens wide. And then we see why. Another fox enters the scene, and they both begin to fight. They start by trying to bite each other's faces, and then they launch attacks from the sides. The most unsettling part for me is the noises they make. I never knew foxes could create such terrifying sounds. After a short fight, both foxes leave the frame, but the chilling noises linger in the background. My suggestion is, if you live near a forest and hear such sounds, it's probably best not to venture out and investigate. A wildlife photographer was capturing the pretty scenes of northern Ontario. He felt more excited when he saw a moose in the lake while recording with his drone. However, something unexpected happened as the drone was leaving. In the video, we see a moose calmly standing in a lake. After a bit, it gets disturbed by something and starts moving as if it's seen something scary. Then we find out why the moose is upset. A wolf appears. The wolf starts swimming toward the moose, and as it gets nearer, the moose tries to protect itself. Even though the moose tries hard, the agile wolf manages to bite the moose's leg strongly. The moose eventually frees himself, but realizing it can't stay safe in the water, it starts running, and the wolf chases it. The fight was an amazing scene, but for the moose, it was a bit of a misery. However, after watching this, I realized that size really doesn't matter. Deer are usually gentle and stunning creatures, but sometimes they do strange things that leave us in shock. This wildlife camera, set up to capture the deer population, records a deer entering the scene. As the deer steps into the frame, unexpectedly, it stands on its hind legs, much like a human. We watch it taking a few steps while upright, which is quite unsettling since a deer's body isn't built for that kind of posture. It's possible that there's a tree outside the frame, and the deer is reaching up to eat from a branch. However, what's odd is the way the deer continues to walk on two legs. Imagine a deer in your backyard, standing on its hind legs, peering through your window. Not exactly a sight I'd welcome. A group of friends were on a trip, and during their travels, they made a stop to capture the beauty of the nearby fields. As they began recording the video, one of them spotted a black creature in the field. In the video, the creature can be seen dashing towards them, while the girls in the background scream and cry out in fear.
Oh, there it is. We've seen this thing before. Dude, what is that? F***ing Yeti. I'm not kidding. That thing's... We've seen it multiple times. Oh my God.
The black-furred creature sprints across the field, prompting the group to start running as well. Looking back, they notice the creature vanishing into the field. After a while, it reappears, this time standing on its hind legs and making its way toward a bush. It hides behind the bush, momentarily before emerging once again and heading back towards the forest. Upon close inspection, the creature was first moving on all fours, covered in thick black fur. Midway through the video, it changed to standing on two legs, revealing its impressive size and resemblance to a Bigfoot-like figure. The scene was undeniably terrifying for both the friends on the scene and those watching the footage. However, it's confusing why they continued recording when the Bigfoot-like creature clearly wanted them gone, or worse, could have viewed them as potential prey. A TikTok user posted this video on their profile, claiming they discovered the body of an alien. The video showcases an unusual creature lying lifeless in the snow. Its body appears child-sized, but its features are what is truly terrifying. With long arms, a small body, and a head resembling an alien, it's an eerie sight. When zooming in on its face, we notice a fish-like mouth and large empty eye sockets. The creature's one arm and eyeballs are missing, possibly due to decomposition after being there for a while. Despite its missing parts, the creature's overall appearance remains unsettling. Could this be an alien, or something even more unsettling than that?
For more strange and interesting footage, check this out.